be XRP, and welcome back. It is February 1st. This is a rare weekend video from me. I'm actually recording from my home office, which is being renovated, so I know there's probably a bunch of echo, and I apologize, but it's all I got for right now for today, so please bear with me. So let's take a look at the market. The market is been really interesting over the 7-day period, but let's take a look. So Bitcoin is up about 0.73% over 24 hours, but up almost 12% over 7-day, which is pretty awesome. Ethereum is up 1.81% and a little over 13% on the 7-day. XRP is up 0.12%, but almost 9% on the 7-day, which is good, solid movement, guys. I'm happy to see it move in the right direction. I usually don't go any further, but these numbers are so awesome. I'm going to talk about some of these other ones. Bitcoin Cash, over 24 hours, 2.67%, but 21%, nearly 20.1% on the 7-day. Look at the 7-day on Litecoin. Litecoin's at over 32% on the 7-day. EOS is at 16%. Cardano is at 26%, and Ethereum Classic is at 37% on the 7-day. So, you know, we're not where we want to be, but the truth is we're better off than we were a week ago. And the market cap's at 261 billion, which is a good number. So we're moving in the right direction. You got to look at the bright side. Sometimes in this game you got to laugh or you got to cry, and I just say let's just laugh because it's easy to cry. But we are certainly moving in the right direction over the last 7 days. So I'm excited to see that, and I hope you guys are excited to see it as well. So let's continue on. Tony from Thinking Crypto did an interview, it looks like, with Sologenic. I haven't listened to it yet. I plan to listen to it this weekend, so I just want to let you guys know that he did this interview. Kind of an interesting company. I'm going to start digging into them over the next week. I really want to get a good sense of what they're doing, how they're doing it, and the way I understand it is they're going to be doing fractional shares of stocks. So for instance, if you want to buy a fractional share of Apple, which let's say might be $300 today, you could buy a fractional share. Or if you want to buy a fractional share of Amazon, which is $2,000, or how about Berkshire Hathaway? I don't even know what the value of that stock is anymore, but I remember at one point it was $250,000. Well, how about if you buy a fractional share, you buy $500 worth of Berkshire Hathaway, and not only do you have a piece of Berkshire, now you get to go to brag to all your friends that I'm invested in Berkshire Hathaway. They'll think you've got $250,000 into that thing because they won't even know how you did it. But that's what I think they're doing and the way I understand it. But I'm going to dig in a little bit. I would like to learn more about what they're doing and how they're doing it. From what I understand, they're building it on top of the XRP ledger, which makes it even more interesting. I don't know if they're getting any help at all from anybody at Ripple. Not that they need it, but I don't know if they're involved in any way other than they're building on the ledger, which they're welcome to do. They don't need anyone's permission to do that because it is decentralized, right, folks? Okay, moving on. So I saw Pomp post this. He said, run away from conversations where people talk about other people. Stick around for conversations where people talk about ideas. You'll save time and be much happier. I couldn't agree more. So I posted this, which is becoming my favorite quote of all times. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. I challenge everyone listening to the sound of my voice this weekend, as you're talking to people, you're going out, you're having drinks. The moment someone starts discussing people, I want a bell to go off in your head and realize that most of the talk you're about to do is just dumb talk. It is just, it is nothing compared to the discussing of ideas that you do and that you see done about investments in digital assets. I'm telling you, when you kind of clue into this, I shared this quote with my wife and daughters a couple of weeks ago, and they are constantly pointing out to me whenever the discussion of people comes up because now they're hypersensitive to it. I challenge you to pay attention over the next 48 hours, and it'll change your life if you'll stop discussing people. It will literally change your life. Not that you don't, Sometimes you have to, but my point is, stay focused on ideas, stay focused on your dreams, stay focused on your goals. That's the stuff that matters. So anyway, didn't want to get off on a tangent, but I think it's important. I think it's good stuff. Okay, moving on. Rob Bart. So Rob Bart, he does YouTube videos. He's on Twitter. He's extremely conservative on Twitter about his price predictions, even though on YouTube he has some pretty big price predictions in his ads for his videos. But his core, his real core, is to be conservative. So I say that, and now I'll read his tweet. His tweet said, "When Bitcoin breaks 14,000, I'll be one happy Roberto. Means BTC is in a bull run to at least 50,000, maybe even 100,000. I got to tell you, he's a trader, and you know, I don't think everybody should be a trader. I think he believes everybody should be a trader, but he is a trader. Apparently, he's a really good trader, and I find this to be a very, very bullish statement by Rob Bart, and I hope he's right, because you know, we're not too far from this 14,000. This could happen very, very quickly, and if it goes to 14 and he's right, it's going to run to 50 to 100. What is XRP going to do? It's going to go haywire, in my opinion. I mean, I just feel like it's going to follow along. So anyway, thought that was interesting. Wanted to share it with you. Moving on. This was from Michael at VAL5Links. Edelman Financial Engines founder Rick Edelman recommends investors to allocate at least 1% of their equities into Bitcoin, despite the fact that the first cryptocurrency has been around for more than a decade. This is big. This is so big. And the digital asset investor has been talking about this for years. And he said that financial advisors will recommend you invest between 1% and 5% of your portfolio in cryptocurrencies, digital assets. And to see them say 1%, we've come a long way, guys. I mean, a long way. So 1% is huge. I think it's going to be closer to 2 to 5%, but let's see what happens. I will tell you that my friends who are financial advisors who looked at me and laughed at me 2 years ago are now asking me questions. I explained, one of them asked me a couple of weeks ago about XRP when he heard I went to Singapore and was invited to Swell. Suddenly he thought I must be an authority on the subject, and after he wasn't very interested 2 years ago, he had me explain to him the process of what Ripple's doing and how XRP works. And at the end of our dinner and conversation, he thought, wow, that's an amazing way to move money. And he was very interested, and he's somebody that controls a lot of investment money. So these people are waking up, and they're going to come around, and that's a big, big deal. So guys, I'm telling you, this is something to celebrate. It really, really is. So moving on. So Spring announced this week that they're wanting to know where to do an XRP meetup, which was fantastic because they're looking to probably engage with the XRP community. And in my opinion, we're possibly the largest free sales force for anybody on the face of the earth. And in this tweet, they said introducing developer relations and the new Spring forum. So they are promoting the building of use cases of XRP. And Spring really looks like they're springing into action. So I think it's fantastic. Here's what I'd love to see from Spring. I'd love to see another company that they fund that has all to do with the education of XRP and Spring-funded projects, and they can go to World CryptoCon, Consensus, they can go to all of these different conventions and talk about what are the other use cases of XRP other than, you know, transferring of money. And I think it's Spring is really the company to do this. And I know that they would get support from the XRP community. I know a lot of influencers in the XRP community would love to help, would love to go to those events, would love to talk to people, would love to be educated more. I would love to be educated more on the different companies that Spring is supporting and how those use cases work. And I've talked to some of the founders of those companies, and even after talking to them or talking to their employees, I am still confused on the processes of how their products work. It's just not clear enough to me, so it's not really going to be that clear to the public. So we definitely need some education, and we're the right people to get it, and then push the information and help educate people. So love what Spring is doing. I really hope they put it into action, and I really hope that they'll harness the power of the XRP community and the people that are out here that want to help. There are so many people out here that want to help. Okay, moving on. I get DMs every day, guys, about Coinbase Pro. How do you set up sell points in Coinbase Pro? Would you do it on video? You know what, guys? I'm the wrong person to do that video. I will tell you this. There is a video on YouTube done by a lady, and she's at Every Bit Helps. Okay, her name is Louise Elizabeth on Twitter. She did a killer tutorial on Coinbase Pro. Go watch it. It's great. You'll learn how to use it, and also, just so you know, they have an app now, and it's easy to use. I just think it's the easiest thing out there, and it's probably gonna have the most liquidity when the bull run comes, or when more importantly, when utility kicks in and people may be looking to do some cashing out. So just something to think about, something I want to share with you. Moving on, I had posted this the other day because XRP had been moving a little bit. And I wrote too soon, and I had posted the Lamborghini 2020 model list. I put a Lambo as my thumbnail today, and guys, I did it tongue in cheek. I did it as a joke. I mean, I don't put price predictions in my videos. I'm not gonna clickbait you guys and play those games. But my point is, I'm not above Lamborghinis because they're stunningly beautiful. So anyway, I had posted this. And then this gentleman, Craig Fulton at Fultz2, posted the list of the cars that he plans to buy, €1.3 million in euro worth of cars. So something tells me Craig is a whale and he's sitting on some XRP, and I hope he gets everything he wants in the end. Good for him. Okay, moving on. This was something, and I don't know if I could back it down. Okay, by Mr. Connector, and he's at Connector_Mr. Coming crypto IPOs. So this was posted on some sort of a business channel online, and I thought this was really interesting, the different companies that may be going IPO. I don't think there's any evidence 100% that these are going to happen, but something to keep an eye out for. Coinbase doing an IPO, I think it's massive. I mean, really, really massive, because people here in the United States seem to respect Coinbase the most because they're United States and they've been around the longest. And obviously there's risk with any exchange, but I think they get the most respect in the country. But if they go IPO, they're really going to get respect. So I think it would be great if they do it. And some of the other companies, obviously Ripple, we've already heard about, which we're all excited about. This CipherTrace, that was the company where the CEO dropped the bomb about a month ago and said that 100% of Japan's banks are using XRP, and then he backtracked and backpedaled like 48 hours later and said, no, I meant Ripple. You know what? I don't believe a thing he says, because this guy's in the business of tracing fraudulent activity, I think, is what CipherTrace does. My point is, this guy is very measured in his words. This guy is very particular in what he says, how things are done. And let me tell you something, when you're a CEO of a big company like this, especially if you're out looking for nefarious activity, you're very measured in your language. And when he used the word, when he said XRP, he meant XRP. And when he backtracked, he meant to backtrack. So anyway, that's my tangent on that thing. But for what it's worth. Hey, last thing, I've never done a live stream. I've kind of been thinking it might be fun at some point to do a live stream, just to kind of do it, to talk about live about the things that you guys might want to talk about, maybe even do some sort of an AMA where you guys can ask me anything within reason, obviously. But let me know in the comments section below if you guys have any interest in a live stream where we can kind of talk about topics that are important to you. If you guys even want to do a live stream with me, I don't even know. But let me know. If I get enough response, I would definitely consider doing it, because I think it might be fun to have some interaction, but it'll be up to you guys. You tell me if you want to do one or not. And that's it, guys. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a dog groomer. I'm not a crypto expert. This video is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please like and subscribe and share my videos with anybody who you think might do the same. And I thank everybody who has subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed and you found any value in my video, I would ask if you would please subscribe. And everyone have a fantastic weekend. And remember this weekend what I want you guys to do. And let me go find it. I want you guys to Great minds discuss ideas. Get out there and discuss ideas, guys. Go do it. Have a great day.